We're in the middle of a full DIY bathroom renovation.
That was not good.
After gutting the bathroom and installing a new shower in phase 1, we're ready to tackle drywall, paint, and tile. The goal is to make this once dark and dirty space feel bright and inviting for guests at our recently purchased lake house. All right, so jumping right into drywall. Well, since this is a bathroom, we're using mold-resistant green board. I've never done any type of drywall work. Cole had done a little bit, but this was a big learning experience for both of us. For some reason, I had it in my head that I would actually enjoy this process, even though everybody says it's one of the most tedious parts of home renovation.
I got it. Oh God, we're hitting the GoPro. Tell me when you're locked and loaded.
You get up first.
God, this vent is like right on my head. Oh yeah, it covers. Perfect. So turns out I don't like hanging drywall. I still think I'm gonna like the mudding and taping part of it.
So you can see the green frog tape on the ceiling there. We used that to mark where the studs were so we knew where to put the drywall screws.
We had a little bit of a snafu in hanging the drywall. We forgot to cut a hole for the shower head. So we're currently trying to find it behind the drywall so we can cut a hole now. So this is the current situation. We know it's perfectly in line with the faucet thing. And so we found it. We know it's just behind this little hole, but we need to get obviously a bigger opening than that. Rookie mistake.
So like the middle of it would be like right there?
Yeah, that's what we think. Is that it?
We'll see.
Good? Let me see. Take a look-see. Wow.
It's a little crooked still.
Great guesswork.
Next, we needed to cut holes for the sink and toilet plumbing, but first we actually had to cut off the old P-trap.
Pretty gross in there. Goo!
Shout out to Cole's excellent measuring skills on this part. We used 2 different sized hole saws for the drain pipe and the water connections.
Wow!
First try.
That's really good!
The next day, we checked to make sure there weren't any screws sticking up over the drywall paper. There were a couple that just needed a little bit of a turn.
So we were originally going to use mesh tape in here, but upon further research, we realized that we would have to use the Quickset mud to do that. We don't have the Quickset mud. We just have regular all-purpose mud. So we have paper tape too, because we were going to use that in the corners, but now we're just going to use paper tape and regular mud for the whole thing.
I started by just filling larger gaps with the mud. I feel very vulnerable sharing this part of the process. Please keep in mind this was my first time ever mudding and taping. Looking back on this now, there are a lot of things I would have done differently. I watched so many YouTube videos and read a handful of blogs from experts before jumping into this process, but let me tell you, it is so much harder than it looks, and I just wasn't advanced enough to use the techniques that I saw a lot of other people doing who clearly had more experience than I did.
All right, I think I got all like the big gaps filled. I think we're good. I think we're ready to start doing the seams.
This is now painful for me to watch. I promise I got better. One thing that we learned right away is how important it is for the joint compound to have the right consistency. I did not have enough moisture in this initial batch for the skim coat, and because of that, our tape didn't adhere properly in some spots.
Got me good.
What happened there?
Ceilings are a little tricky.
She's got her butt knife back here.
Gotta be prepared. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah! Is that too light of a coat?
Tell the people, are you a drywaller?
I don't know. I'm getting there. This is so heavy. We have about 10 million paint samples as we try to figure out what the heck we're gonna do in here. So, do we go like the greenish gray route, which this looks really dark in here right now, but it's really not that dark. I think this is too dark now, seeing this in here.
Probably.
Probably. Okay, so let's, oh God. So this is white, like white. Is this too dark?
Too dark.
Okay, goodbye. This is Sculptor Clay by Bear.
Not bad.
I kind of like that one. You're an option. Okay. Granite Dust. Do we like that?
Not bad.
You're an option. Gray Mist. That's too dark. Oh, there's another one. This is Vintage Pewter.
I like that one.
Okay. I don't know. Stay tuned.
Moving on to the corners, I did this once the other joints had dried so I didn't mess up the tape. I actually found the corners to be a little bit easier, but that's probably because I was just getting the feel for things a little bit.
Just want to show you guys the difference between the first joint that I did, which look how terrible and messy this is, and you can see like how bad I messed up the mud right there. I did this one first because this is going to be completely covered with the vanity and the toilet, so it was kind of just like my practice run, but that was my first one. And this corner, actually all the corners were some of my last ones. Look how much cleaner the corners are than that first joint. So it is definitely a learning curve, but once you sort of get the feel for it and the hang of it, it gets so much easier. Like, this is so smooth. I really don't have to do any sanding here compared to all these other joints.
For the remaining coats, we switched to a quick set joint compound, which was recommended in every single video I watched and blog I read.
Getting there. Great consistency. Perfect. So I did half of the corner. I did this half of the corner last night, and I did that all around everywhere. And I let that dry overnight. And now I'm doing the other half of all the corners. And I saw, I don't know if that's like 100% the best way to do it. I just saw a pro on YouTube doing it that way. So you're not like digging into the opposite corner.
while it's wet, which I know I would have been because I'm a beginner, clearly. Well, we have been working on drywall for about a week. I think I am finally done with the mudding portion and sanding portion. I just did a few touch-ups in some spots that needed a bit more feathering, but I think it looks pretty good. For it being our first time doing anything like this and having so many like different opinions on use paper tape, use mesh tape, use this mud, no use this mud, this is how you're supposed to do it. I think we made it work. Before we can start painting, we need to correct our floor. So if you remember in part 1 of this bathroom renovation series, we laid self-leveling concrete. It didn't level quite right, so we need to do it again before we tile in here. It's not horrible. We just think there are some spots where it's gonna be a little too raised and the tile isn't gonna sit totally flat. So Cole's washing the floor right now, and then we're gonna do another round of self-leveling concrete. Before we laid more self-leveling concrete, we actually tried to sand down some of the high spots, which didn't work great, but did help a little bit. Then I primed the floor with the same recommended primer and laid more self-leveling concrete. Spoiler alert, this round really wasn't much better. We fixed some of the low spots, but it just didn't spread as well as we expected. Then I just vacuumed all the dust and caulked all around the corners. We have reached a very exciting milestone in the bathroom renovation. We are ready to paint. And I'm actually gonna be using a new paint sprayer that I've never used before. It is the Graco Magnum X5 airless paint sprayer. I have used a paint sprayer in the past, but it was like a small little handheld one. And I've actually never used it for interior projects, only exterior projects. So this is gonna be a bit of a learning curve. I got it primed with water, but now I actually need to get the paint running through it. So bear with me as I figure that out. One coat done, probably one more coat to go. The nice thing is, I can't take myself seriously looking like this. A little bit of an issue. While I was doing the second coat, the paint sprayer, we believe, got a bad clog. And so now I'm gonna have to do things the old-fashioned way for a little bit and use a roller. I think I'm gonna have to end up buying a new hose because
We just cannot get it unclogged. Water will go through it, but no paint will go through it. Of course, the first time I use it. All right, I got a new hose. Primer looks great. And now we're going to attempt to finish the painting. Really hope we don't get another clog. I also, confession, I did not strain the paint or the primer before I ran it through the sprayer, and that's because it said it was optional, but I have a feeling that might have something to do with why we got such a bad clog. So I will be straining the paint this time and hope for the best. We haven't actually seen this paint color in person yet. Give her a little shake. If you follow us on Instagram, you might already know that we chose this paint color because I had people vote on it there. It is called Drift of Mist from Sherwin-Williams, and I don't have a paint can opener since I'm using scissors. Don't judge me.
So it still didn't work. We were troubleshooting for a very long time. We tried every tip and trick that we could find. You can see the sprayer wasn't totally clogged because there was a small stream coming out, but that was it.
Incredibly frustrating sequence of events. The sprayer is still not working. I have no idea what's going on. Think it might have something to do with the tip. We've spent like an hour troubleshooting with no luck. And then I got it to work for a second and then it stopped working again. So I don't know what's going on. Just very frustrating. So now we're gonna go back to the old-fashioned way of doing things and try to get one coat with a roller on tonight. Oh, good morning, everybody. Last night was so incredibly frustrating with dealing with that paint sprayer. I didn't even record very much because no one wants to watch us struggle with a piece of equipment that should be pretty simple to use, but something is still wrong with it. We don't know what. So rolling on the paint was fine, especially in a room this small. With the two of us, it took like, I don't know, 30 minutes, and I'm down here this morning to do another coat. So today will be a better day.
I ended up having just enough paint to do the ceiling the same color. We were originally going to paint it white, but felt like it would make it feel a little more elevated and cohesive to paint it the same color as the walls. I don't know. What do you think? Would you have left it white or painted it?
We're laying tile today. It's a first for both of us.
We picked up this tile more than a month earlier from Floor & Decor, and I can't remember if I already shared this, but this bathroom is all Cole's design choices, so this is his tile choice. I wasn't totally sold on it, but once we started cutting and dry fitting it, it definitely grew on me.
I think maybe this just needs to be like, I don't know what this is. Look, I can see things, I have a great vision. What I don't have is great skill when it comes to measurements. Cole just asked me if I wanted to do the measurements on this next cut. Absolutely not.
She likes to be involved.
I'll be there for a second set of eyes. I'll be there if you have a question. Not my jam. The other day, Cole asked me if I knew what a hexagon was.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I don't remember this.
When my mom was here?
Oh, it was just like quizzing her on geometry shapes.
No,
it was
you-
like rhombus.
You
and
said
hexagon.
to me, you said, do you know how many sides a hexagon has?
I did. Some people don't know.
Sure enough, Cole did end up needing my help to figure out that cut, so maybe my math skills aren't as bad as we think.
Good morning. The camera died last night, but we did eventually get everything dry fitted in the bathroom for the tile, and then we took it all out and laid it out on the floor outside of the bathroom so we can just pop it right into place once we start getting the mortar down. I also washed the concrete subfloor with TSP last night, so it should be clean-ish, and ready to go for the thin set.
We followed the directions on the bag and let the thin set sit for 5 minutes after mixing, and then came back and mixed again.
No turning back. You think that's enough?
Yeah.
That was not good.
Pushing over a little bit.
All right. One down.
I don't know if I just got used to working with joint compound while doing the drywall, but I had a hard time adjusting to the consistency of this thin set and figuring out how to work with it. By the second row, we realized it made more sense to lay out enough thin set for a few sheets of tile at a time instead of just one sheet at a time. The next day, I removed all the spacers and found 2 tiles that were a little loose. I just pulled them up and reapplied some mortar and put them right back down.
The tile is prepped and ready for grout. Now from the top, it looks pretty even. It's not. Oh, I'm not sure if you can tell. You see where the mortar clearly pushed through the grout lines more there and then back there? That's because there is a dip in the floor right there. So when I was spreading the mortar in that area, it was like filling that dip. So then when I pressed the tiles in, more mortar pushed up through the grout lines. So that's annoying, but I don't think it's gonna look horrible once we get the grout in.
Before doing the grout, I did scrape out some of that mortar that was pushing up through the grout lines. Now, I thought I was saving myself some headache by going with this pre-mixed grout, but it was absolutely awful. This stuff was so stiff and clumpy. It took a lot of effort to work it into the grout lines, even though you can't really tell on camera. I have since heard that pre-mixed grout is really hit or miss. Well, this particular brand was definitely a miss. Once the grout was set and dry, it was time for finishing touches like a new vanity. Cole installed new plumbing for the sink and reconnected the water lines. We also cut into our brand new drywall to install a new light fixture.
Careful, careful, careful. The wire is right here. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Not doing anything.
There. Okay, just don't go that deep.
Because we had some high spots in our floor, we had to shim our toilet quite a bit to keep it from wobbling. Not a huge deal.
We have a toilet. So this toilet sits higher up than, didn't you say it's like a higher sitting toilet?
Yeah, just a taller one.
Plus, I'm short, so when I sit on it, my feet like dangle and I feel like I'm 5. But Cole likes it. Of course, we already have dog hair. I don't think I showed this on camera yesterday, but there's like a teeny tiny, I don't know if you can see it, teeny tiny little chip in our new vanity top. I don't think anybody is going to notice it. So we're just gonna live with it instead of going through the hassle of returning it, getting another one. Just another thing, it's a very scary moment. We think we are ready to test everything. All the water things, which, I mean, that's all there, like all the electrical is already done, so.
We could have tested things back when it was what it was, but we just don't step on that. We just put that in.
Let's give it all a whirl. Do you remember how to turn the water back on?
Not really.
Okay. Woohoo! Any leaks?
Oh, yeah.
Where? Where?
Right here. It just dripped once.
Turns out the connection just needed to be tightened.
We have a mirror, we have a vanity, we have water, we have a mirror, we have light, we have a shower, floor, toilet. It looks like a real bathroom in here now.
A little bit of trim and a little more finishing work, and we are finally done.
All right, so that's gonna do it for this video and for this bathroom renovation. We are about 99% done. Just a few finishing touches like putting up a shower curtain and hanging some art in here and just doing some other decorating things. So it's definitely not perfect. We are not professionals, so we did not expect it to be perfect. And this is the largest bathroom renovation that either of us have ever done. I mean, completely gutting it and building it back up. So I give us a passing grade for that, which is about all you can hope for when you jump into a project like this. I will be doing a full breakdown of how much we spent on this renovation project, so make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already to make sure you don't miss out on that. Don't forget to drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of how this space turned out. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.